your basic photography starter kit. What you need, what you don't need, what you don't even know you don't need. Let's get into it. There are a few simple basics that you need when starting photography. Are you thinking about starting it this year, last year? Do you just want to like take pictures for your business, with your kids, with your family? What do you need? There are a few basics, and I want to talk about those basics with you today. So we got a few things in front of us, and these are kind of the basics, but they're a little advanced. They're a little not advanced. So camera, you know you need that. You need a camera. The type of camera is really predicated on what you really want to use it for and how you want to use it. You got crop sensor cameras and full frame cameras. Now, if you need anything bigger than that and you're a starter, you're not a starter. You're a professional. Medium format is professional. Now, if you're old school, you could even want a film camera. But what kind of film camera do you want nowadays? Do you want a Polaroid? You can get your picture now. Or do you want to get that picture developed? It's really, it could be complicated, but it could not be complicated based on your needs. So, let's talk about a few things that would be really good for you if you're starting off. This is a crop sensor camera. It's a cheaper camera. The sensor in there is smaller. The depth of field isn't as deep. But are those things that you really think about when you are just starting? No. You need a camera. So something in the price range from $600 to $1,200. It's like a perfect range for starting photography. You can even get full frame cameras for like $800-900 now. So the market is kind of acceptable, and sometimes it gets a little extensive, as you see here. But the camera body is really the easy part. Things can get a bit complicated. So, to make it a little less complicated, if you're just starting out, you probably want one or two things. A prime lens is probably your best bet because the range that you can take pictures in is much larger. Now, a prime lens will give you a higher quality image, a lower aperture, and better low light performance. But are you really thinking about all those things when you're just starting? Probably not. A zoom lens at a f4, or even if you have the extra money, get a 2.8. Get a little more light inside that lens. So a 24-70 covers like your wide angles to your telephotos. Very common and very popular lens to start off with. It's basically like a photography staple, and I would suggest that for your zoom lens. Now, for prime, that can go either way, but I would say get something that's like a 1.8 aperture, and it's between 35 to 85. Those are like your prime lens holy trinity: 35, 50, and 85 millimeter. And so for a prime lens to start off with, a 50 millimeter 1.8, something in there should suit you just fine. For example, something like this would be perfect. This is a Nikon Z50, and it comes with a 16 to 50 millimeter lens. Now, in full frame, that would be about 24 to, it would actually be like a 24 to 70. But if you look, this lens is small. The camera's compact. You can put it in your bag. You can have it with you anywhere you go. And as you progress, you can get more lenses to work on that same camera body. The brand of camera really doesn't matter, because everything in 2022 and beyond is really good. Sony, Nikon, Fuji, Canon, all of them make great cameras. This is a tripod. This is a ball head tripod, and that's like a photography basic. You can use a tripod for landscape orientation, portrait orientation, and then you can use a tripod for long exposures. There's so many uses for a tripod, so that's why a tripod is like in your photography basic kit. Alright, there are a couple other things you need in your basic photography kit. You need a computer and editing software. Computer, that's your choice. I'm not going to go too far into there because If you already have a computer, you probably just need to download the editing software. So, I will recommend a couple pretty good softwares that I personally use. I use Luminar 4 and I use Lightroom. So, with those two, Lightroom is a subscription base, so you can pay on that as you go, and Luminar you just pay for one time. I personally suggest Luminar for beginners because it has features in there like sky replacements and AI. It makes everything kind of fun to start off with instead of saying, hey, I want to move this gradient, I want to move this radial filter. So just hop in and have some fun. They got some fun creative presets. So Skylum and Luminar, just use that if you're just starting off. One time payment. One more thing, don't forget about SD cards. Those are important. I use a mixture between ProGrade and SanDisk, and they're reliable. I haven't run into any issues with those. So depending on the type of camera you got, make sure you get a good SD card. Something at a minimum of 128 gigabytes. That's like a photography basic. You shouldn't run out of space unless you're doing a wedding or something extensive. Now you know your photography basics. Camera, lens, tripod, computer, editing software, SD cards. Huh. Do you need anything else? As a matter of fact, I'll give you a bonus. Here's your bonus. Don't tell anybody. Well, tell everybody. Light. Light, light, light. If you're just starting off, make sure you get at least one speed light or a flash, something that can go on your camera and that you can use to, shape light. Light is like light actually is the most important part of photography. And once you understand light, then you can go as far as you want to go with photography. And in your basic photography kit, let's add light to that list. So you got a camera, you got your lens, you got your tripod, you got your computer, you got your editing software, you got your SD cards, and you got your light. Right now, for example, you wouldn't see me without light. It's as simple as that. Those are your photography basics. Some stuff may vary by what you're trying to do. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. If today's video was helpful, be sure to subscribe. But don't forget, whatever you create, make sure it's high quality.